Hello, and thank you for joining us for Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. It's coming to live from the Broadcasting House in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Giverson Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Lucy Moore. Do join us for the next 1 hour or so for news within and, of course, across the country. Plus, start interacting on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1, and mine, of course, it's at Giverson Maina. And now let's get started. Now, the Union of Kenya Civil Servants has rejected the government's latest salary review, dismissing it as just a standard annual increment and not a pay rise. Union officials led by Secretary General Lawrence Ochieng say the Salaries and Remuneration Commission did not factor in the proposals by the union that considered the harsh economic realities. They are now giving SRC and the Public Service Ministry a 14-day ultimatum to stop the implementation and return to the negotiating table or face a national strike.
The challenge is that in that county would it take somebody to properly understand what goes on there that takes us always into legal fees, because then there are issues that would only require us to go to the court. For example, the issue of the boundary between Coast and the northern Kenya has always been a subject, and we've gone to independent commissions. We've spoken about it within the circles of government, and not us today. It has been there. People have been talking about it, and we thought, over and above the commission, then we need to go to court. That is not an issue that the office of the governor can just keep slipping over.
Now, the government has condemned political leaders calling on tourists to avoid Kenya over alleged security concerns, terming it unpatriotic and an attempt to sabotage the economy. Now, government spokesperson Isaac Mora says the country remains stable and secure for business, even as he addressed other key issues, including Mount Kenya unity, tax amnesty, and disaster preparedness. Let's listen in.
Susia utalii itakuwa inamuumiza mtu fulani. Ni sisi sote ambao tunaathirika. Ni sekta ambayo inatupatia kipato kikubwa zaidi kwa sababu ya vile Wakenya wanafaidika. Tumekuwa na ile free visa ambayo watu wanaingia hapa na tumefaidika sana. Tumeongeza wale watu ambao wamekuja kutalii Kenya ni milioni 7.9, wakiwemo milioni 5.2 ambao ni Wakenya wenyewe. Sasa tukiwaambia watu wasitalii, ni kuambia Wakenya pia wenyewe wasiende kujivinjari na nchi tunayo nzuri zaidi. Ambao wa kutoka nje milioni 2.7 ambao wamekuja. Wakati tulichukua usukani kama serikali walikuwa nakuja milioni 1.4, 4.8 million. Sasa itakuwaje wewe mwenyewe kama kiongozi ama wale viongozi wengine ambao wana azma ya wanasema wana azma tofauti, utawezaje kusorotesha uchumi kwa kuambia Wakenya wasiingie kwa kisingizio? Na kama kuna mambo ya kutakuwa na usalama, wizara husika ipo na pia jeshi letu la polisi. Kwa hivyo taja watu wanataja sijui kuna watu walibakwa, sijui wengine. Kama kuna ushahidi wa kutosha, jameni, uletwe wazi. Sijui kama kuna mtu yoyote ambaye ameathirika kutokana na vurugu, watu wache asasi za dola ziweze kufanya upelelezi, lakini sio kuchochea watu na kadhalika. Hilo ni jambo ambalo ni la muhimu zaidi. Na pia tumeona pia watu wengine wanakuja hapa nchini wanakuja kuongea maneno ambayo hayako. Kuna huyu actress anaitwa Sky Jackson, anakuja hapa kusema ati watu hawana vioo. Hata kama unataka kujitafutia umaarufu, Ile mambo ya kuwa tulikuwa tunaonyesha unaona vyombo vya habari zinasema za huko nje kwamba watu wa Afrika wote ni maskini, hiyo ilipitwa na wakati. Tuko katika mfumo mpya wa kwenda kuwa first world, ndio tunasema dream ya Singapore. Kenya ni nchi ambayo imesonga mbele zaidi. Hata uliona juzi Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto akiwakilisha Afrika nzima katika mkutano wa G7. Nchi ambayo uchumi wetu ndio bora zaidi katika kanda ya Afrika Mashariki na Kati. Watatu katika bara la Afrika. Sarafu yetu iko strong kabisa. Watu wetu wanakimbia mbio, wanashinda. Tuko na kahawa, tuko na parachichi sasa hivi. Tuko hata na majani chai. Nchi ambayo
the Union of Kenya Civil Servants has rejected the government's latest salary review, dismissing it as just a standard annual increment and not a pay rise. Now, union officials led by the Secretary General Lawrence Ochieng say the Salaries and Remuneration Commission (SRC) did not factor in the proposals by the union that considered the harsh economic realities. They are now giving SRC and the Public Service Commission a 14-day ultimatum to stop the implementation and return to the negotiating table or face a national strike.
We take issue with SRC and the PS because what has been published and what is purported as salary incrementals are mere annual incrementals that is already guaranteed, and in terms of the law and in terms of the violations in Labour Relations Act. We are demanding that the letter on benefits and remuneration issued by SRC be withdrawn forthwith and its implementation be stopped immediately until we finalize our negotiations and sign our CBA. They have refused to listen to us. They have refused to listen to public servants. We are left with no other option but also to simultaneously take legal action. If they can't stop it, we'll stop it in court. If they stop it, we will withdraw our court case. We have never for a long time as civil servants gone on strike. But I'm telling you that this one, we will, if they don't respond within 14 days.
For the union makes us strong.
And now, from that, a section of members of parliament allied to the ruling Kenya Kwanza government has condemned the rising wave of goonism witnessed in Busia County and other parts of the country, and now wants the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to apprehend politicians funding goons. Now, elsewhere, a section of ODM leaders in Kakamega County is lobbying for Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya to be named President William Ruto's running mate in the 2027 general election, saying the move will lock in the Western vote.
Speaking during a women empowerment drive in Teso North constituency, UDA MPs urged political leaders to refrain from using young people to fuel violence.
Kuna shida especially hapa Busia. Tumeanza kuleta mambo ya guns Busia. Tunataka hiyo ikome. Tunataka tusitumie vijana wetu kwa njia mbaya. Vijana wetu kitu wanahitaji ni ajira. Si ni kweli?
Tufanye siasa ya amani. Tufanye siasa ya urafiki. Sababu Kenya ni moja, sisi ni watu moja, uchaguzi utakuja itaenda, si ndio?
Elsewhere in Kakamega County, legislators led by Bernard Shinali of Ikolomani constituency lobbied for Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya to be named President William Ruto's running mate in the 2027 general elections.
Tukitaka safari yetu ikuwe mzuri, let's support William Ruto na yeye atupe kiti ya namba 2. Tunaelewana? Sisi tumetembea na ndugu zetu wa ODM wote Kenya mzima. Sasa hivi wamefika mahali wakasema huyu Mheshimiwa Ambesa Oparanya is the senior most in the hierarchy ya ODM kwa kukaa na baba karibu sana.
Tuendelee kutembea pamoja, tuendelee kuungana pamoja, tuongee kwa sauti moja kama community. Wale ambao mko hapa hamjaregister kama kura, tunawaomba mwende mchukue kura.
Kila mtu, kila kabila iko na haki ya kuwa kwa hii nchi ya Kenya. Kenya is bigger than any other individual.
At the same time, the Orange Party has appointed interim leaders in Vihiga County to replace grassroots leaders allied to the Linda Mwananchi Brigade.
Na ni vizuri kwamba mmechukua jukumu kama wana ODM kuona kwamba tunachukua viongozi ambao watapeleka hii chama yetu mbele.
Elsewhere in Jomvu constituency, Mombasa County, political advisor in the office of the president, Karisa Nzai, said the coast region starts to benefit from continuity in leadership under the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Na mimi nawaomba viongozi wenzangu wote mahali popote na kila mahali tuweke amani na tuhakikishe William Samoei Ruto tunamrudisha kwa nguvu kwa yale ambayo ametuonesha na ametufanyia hapa.
And United Green Movement presidential flag bearer Chief Justice Emeritus David Maraga has established his presidential campaign secretariat and appointed Mkawasi Mcharo as the co-executive director and veteran journalist David Makali as communication coordinator. Gishuke Washira, Lunchtime News.
And our Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has called on the youth to reject violence, divisive politics and tribalism, saying no young life should be sacrificed for political expediency. Now addressing the Association of Member Episcopal Conference in Eastern Africa, which was hosted by the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops in Nairobi, Mudavadi further called for peace and unity of the country ahead of the 2027 general election. He cautioned that the country must not slide into anarchy and violence akin to the 2007-2008 post-election violence that claimed more than 1,000 lives.
I call upon our young people in Kenya and across the region to reject violence, divisive politics, and tribalism. No young and promising life should be sacrificed for political expedience. Elections will come and go. But our nation's unity, stability, and future must endure for generations to come. Effective democracy extends beyond elections to the delivery of tangible results by the elected leaders.
The Health Union Caucus has announced a national strike after the Council of Governors have failed to issue absorption letters to the 7,450 universal health coverage workers, converting them to permanent and pensionable terms. Led by the caucus chairperson Peterson Washira, the union members maintained that they will not resume work until their demands are honoured, urging Kenyans who have patients in public health facilities to seek alternative services. The workers were supposed to be transitioned to the county government from July this year after the government allocated 8.94 billion shillings in the recent budget for the absorption. Now, the caucus further urged the government to recall health human resources from the county government to the national government. Take a look.
Employment engagement from contracts to permanent and pensionable terms. After the 21 days, on the 6th day of July this year, we came out after giving a 14-day strike notice. And we were giving the 14-day strike notice so that we give ample time to our governors to make up their minds and do the right thing. A week ago, we came here to remind them that time was running out, just to see whether there is some humanity left in them so that they can do the right thing. And today it is very unfortunate to come here and say, because of neglect and inaction by our county governments and by extension, the county governors who are the CEOs of those counties, health workers have started their strike today from midnight. I must also say that it's very unfortunate that even presidential directives are not just roadside directives, but directives from the president that have been reduced into a formal directive can be ignored and nothing seems to happen. As we stand here today, the 7,450 UHC staff do not have a salary this month. They cannot access healthcare services because they do not have a medical cover. They have no formal engagement with either the county or the national.
To other matters now, Tana River County government has decried a complacency within the National Land Commission and the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IBC in resolving historical boundary tussles between Tana River County and its neighbors. Now, appearing before the Senate's County Public Accounts Committee, County Governor Dado Godana said the failure by the two commissions to solve historical boundary conflicts has subjected the county government to numerous legal battles that are raising the county's expenditure. The senators are concerned that the pending legal fees and awards could be accumulating interest and thereby subjecting the county to deeper financial constraints.
The challenge is that in that county would take somebody to properly understand what goes on there that takes us always into legal fees, because then there are issues that would only require us to go to the court. For example, the issue of the boundary between Coast and the northern Kenya has always been a subject. And we've gone to independent commissions. We've spoken about it within the circles of government. And not us today. It has been there. People have been talking about it. And we thought, over and above the commission, then we need to go to court. That is not an issue that the office of the governor can just keep sleeping over.
Now let's take you to Kiambu County, where more than 30 graduates from Kiambu National Polytechnic are set to take up jobs in Germany after completing a specialized labor mobility program designed to prepare Kenyan youth for international employment. Now, the 31 graduates drawn from hospitality and landscaping courses are the first cohort to complete the initiative. They received certificates after undergoing technical training, German language lessons, and workplace readiness programs tailored to the needs of employers in Bavaria, Germany. Speaking during the graduation ceremony, TVET Principal Secretary Dr. Esther Moria said the pilot program has opened opportunities for similar initiatives in other TVET institutions. Take a look.
With GIZ and the associations in Germany, like the Huga Bayern, this is a chamber of hotels, and then we have the Landscaping Association of Germany, particularly the state of Bavaria, and that we are partnered with those ones.
It is a cohort that we have started with, and we are not only going to get them skilled and upskilled in Kiambu National Polytechnic, but right across. I have quite a number of principals here who have come to witness what is happening so that we can scale it up right across the country, and we can have many more getting into this.
And now let me take you to Milimani Law Courts in Nairobi, where the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja was expected to appear in person before Justice Alexander Muteti between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. for the hearing of a case involving missing people, 3 missing individuals. And I'm told his security is already at the court. Let's take you to the Milimani Law Courts.
And it is their application, and it is then not proper to put the DCI and the IG in the stand, and those issues have not arisen. Yes. Yeah, those issues must first arise. They will crystallize, be identified, and they will come back and respond to them.
Okay. Fair enough. So, Mr. Diambo?
My Lord, in the interest to expedite this matter, because we've seen the families are here,
yes,
we can proceed with the other witnesses, then later on they can be called. But what cannot be dispensed is the requirement when the time rises that they can come and be able to respond to certain issues that we feel are pertinent. Because if we continue to see the family sitting here in the room, people need answers. And the abstract responses that we continue to receive will not give peace and give a level that people can feel at peace as to what is happening. The aim of this application is just simple. Either these parties to be produced in court, or we will be told are they dead somewhere. Yes.
That's fine. So having taken that position, DCI and IG, welcome to the court. We are in the process of agreeing on how we proceed. And Kanzo have indicated that we follow the procedure strictly, which I agree with, in which case then we have to start with the applicants. They give us their position in their case, present their witnesses, then we shall hear those officers that you are tasked to deal with this matter and have sworn affidavits. After we've heard them, should there be issues that will require your respective responses as the officers who bear the highest responsibility from their respective institutions, then at that stage a decision will be made whether he is required to come or not. But for obeying today's summons and appearing, we thank you. I think at this stage we can release them and we will call you should that become necessary. Thank you.
Most obliged.
Thank you. So, Mr. Diambo, we have to start with you. So then, how many witnesses do you have today?
So, Your Lordship, for purposes of these proceedings, we only have 3 departments of the various affidavits. That is one Pamela Alou. We have Stephen Mungo. Stephen Mungo, Your Lordship. Yes. Stephen Mungo will witness the purposes of senior application 159 and 163.
So Pamela is for which one? 150?
Pamela is for 162.
162.
The IG, or rather Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, is already in the precincts of Milimani Law Courts, of course accompanied by the DCI boss Amin Mohammed, to answer to questions pertaining 3 missing individuals. Of course, we'll take you back there when they'll be answering the questions to the Justice Alexander Muteti. But before that, we take a short commercial break. Don't go too far. There's still so much more coming your way.
What a moment for Torres. Spain are on their way. It's a deep cross. Williams back in, there's the chance, and there is the goal!
Just stood up to the back post.
Martinez should come and deal with that, doesn't.
Dial *977# or download My Power app to access Kenya Power services fast and easy. Kenya Power, nuru ya Kenya.
The wait is over. KBC iko Huduma Center. Starting with Nairobi, kupata huduma za KBC imekuwa rahisi. From digital guidance and signet services to booking of commercial adverts and documentaries. Visit our dedicated desks at Huduma Center GPO, Times Square, Makadara, Kibera or Eastleigh. Tunakungoja hapo. Whether it's a casual announcement or a specialized media solution for your business, we are here to serve you. KBC at Huduma Centers, moving closer to you. Your station, your service.
Slim Nyarawendo SNA
Radio Mayiga Mato Marwa.
And welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. Now, a section of political community, youth and women leaders in Dadaab, Garissa County has renewed calls for peaceful political campaigns ahead of the 2027 general election. They want that heightened political activity could create security vulnerabilities that may be exploited by ill-meaning individuals. The leaders, while reaffirming the unwavering support for President William Ruto's second-term bid, urge the government to prioritize key development projects in the region and reopen the Kenya-Somalia border to boost cross-border trade. Here's more.
We want to also urge our politicians, they should not alter anything that is going to incite the people. We want a peaceful election and campaign to the people.
Kitu ambaye inatatiza maendeleo katika okoa hii ama kaunti hii ni usalama. Kwa hii barabara ya kwenda Dadaab tulikuwa na mabuluzi ama IDs ilifanyika mara kadhaa. Tunaomba serikali iharakishe hiyo barabara itengenezwe mara moja vile Rais Mheshimiwa William Ruto aliahidi. Jambo ingine ni tunaomba rais afungue border.
And now from Garissa, we take you to Lamu County, where a section of youth in Lamu County has called on the government to enhance efforts to improve security, emphasizing the importance of peace in regional development. Now, the appeal came after the youth completed a 50-kilometer walk carrying placards with messages of unity and peaceful coexistence printed on them. According to the youth, a secure environment would attract more investors, boost the local economy, create employment opportunities for young people, and of course, curb crime cases in the area.
Amani bila amani tunajua changamoto yake.
hatuna usafiri, hatuna biashara haiwezi fanyika, wanafunzi hawezi soma, maendeleo haiwezi kuwa bila amani.
Tumekuwa na kesi hapa Lamu ya vijana wakiwa na panga, wanazozana kidogo, wanapigana na panga. Lakini hii ni ya kwanza tu, hii ni safari, ni matembezi ambayo tumefanya 50 kilomita. Lakini kama vijana tutashirikiana na pia tutakuwa na monthly na pia after month tournament.
Tunaalika serikali na washikadau wote wakuje kuwekeza katika kaunti ya Lamu ili milango ambayo italeta ajira na kukuza uchumi wa kaunti hii uweze kuwa ni kwa wingi na iweze kufikia vijana wengi na jamii yote kwa jumla.
Tuweze kushirikiana na maafisa wa usalama na viongozi na kila mtu tuweze kuona kwamba ile amani ambayo tuko nayo sasa tunaweza kuzidisha.
And our matters educational, technical and vocational training, rather education and training institutions have been urged to embrace modern training approaches and strengthen partnerships with industry players to equip learners with skills required in the rapidly changing technological world. According to Kenya Industrial Training Institute, KITI Director Engineer Wabwile Simiyu, technological advancements are transforming every economic sector and creating new demands for productivity, innovation and efficiency. Speaking during a public engagement at the Institute's Nakuru main campus, Engineer Simiyu emphasized that industries are adopting advanced technologies in manufacturing, agriculture, logistics, and even building management systems, requiring workers to possess up-to-date technical competencies.
Have been given an opportunity to train up to 800 tailors already. Similarly, in another trade like mechanical engineering, we have a collaboration with Kenya Bureau of Standards in welder certification. All those welders who go through our training have made the standards that are internationally recognized to work in such an environment. We have a program where we expose our trainers to industry. Once we have closed.
Now to matters politics and church now. Religious leaders have urged the political class to stop political power plays and instead focus on development agenda for the citizenry. Speaking during the consecration of the Anglican Church of Kenya, St. Anne's Parish, Mweki in Kasarani, Nairobi County, Diocese Bishop Jonathan Kafiro called for peace, unity and love as the country forges ahead of the 2027 general election. Now, the ACK Church in Mweki marks 41 years since its inception.
We want to call upon all Kenyans to maintain peace, to be peacemakers and peace lovers, to ensure that they accommodate one another regardless of their political persuasions. There was a by-election in Olkarau, and we want to ask that that should be used in a very big way by the institutions that are concerned in preparation to the general elections next year. So any kind of mistake that may have taken place there should not be repeated. We have seen goons even attacking churches when their activities at probably are not in a line with a particular political persuasion. This must be condemned at the highest voice, because we want a peaceful country. We remind the politicians, we remind every Kenyan that we have a country to work in before the elections, during the elections, and even after that. We still have our country that we must take care of, and we must live together.
Now, the Embu County government has allocated 340 million shillings in the 2026-2027 financial year to confirm universal health coverage healthcare workers to permanent and pensionable terms, subject to approval of the county budget by the County Assembly. Now, speaking during the medical outreach camp at Runyenje's Level 4 Hospital, County Chief Officer for Health Patrick Mukavi noted that the allocation will also cater for the promotion of healthcare workers who have remained in the same job groups for years. He says the move is aimed at improving staff morale, enhancing healthcare service delivery, and of course addressing recurring industrial disputes that have disrupted health services in the county.
Enough, even the specialties, and that is something that of course the county has to work on increasing so that it can cover enough people in Embu County. That's why you see for most of these specialist clinics, we are getting numbers between 500 and 700, meaning there's a great need. So we also need to increase the number of healthcare workers to be able to meet that need in the hospital.
Staff that were handed down to us from the national government to us 6 years ago, who have been working under contract, and we are having a budget that will take care of these people so that they can transit from contract to permanent and pensionable.
And now we take you to Isiolo County, where livestock keepers and residents in Isiolo County and other counties in northern Kenya will soon have access to the Isiolo International Export Abattoir following the conclusion of test runs. Isiolo County Secretary Dadeboru said the abattoir, whose construction has taken 17 years, will begin operations once it is officially opened. County Chief Officer for Agriculture Godana Dida said the export standard facility is capable of processing up to 2,900 animals during an 8-hour shift. This includes about 300 cattle, 100 camels, and 2,500 sheep and goats, positioning it among the largest livestock processing plants in sub-Saharan Africa.
This one will be a life changer in the whole of northern Kenya. You know, we are a gateway. Isiolo is a gateway. Because 2030 vision is there, we are realizing it, that this town will be a resort city.
The number of livestock we have as a county will not maybe be able to meet the supply. So we are really mobilizing our neighboring counties. Last week we had a meeting for the 9 Asal region, the directors of veterinaries, the directors of livestock, and the chief officers and DCCs. We are really mapping up the supply area, and I think with the teamwork from the northern region and those neighboring counties, we'll be able to meet the demand.
Now to Meru County now. Livestock farmers in Igembe North Sub-County in Meru County who lost their animals to cattle rustling and bandit attacks have begun receiving compensation through the national government's livestock restocking program. Now a total of 207 cattle were distributed to the first group of beneficiaries, with an additional 800 cattle expected to be handed over to more farmers over the next 3 days as the exercise continues across the region. During the distribution exercise, Igembe North Member of Parliament Julius Taitumu said the gesture demonstrates the national government's commitment to supporting communities affected by insecurity and helping them regain their sources of livelihood.
Niko na furaha sana sababu this is a government project. Mimi najua nyinyi miaka iliyopita 2-3 tumeibiwa ng'ombe wengi sana hapa, ikienda pande ya kaunti ya Samburu, na leo serikali imetukumbuka. Mbunge wetu ako na uhusiano mzuri na serikali, si ni kweli? And that's why mnaona mumeitwa hapa leo ili muweze kuwa compensated. This is a government project, na lazima tushukuru pia rais wetu mpendwa, si ni hivyo? Na nyinyi pia mnapoona wakora wale ambao wanazunguka hapa, tuko na wale watu ambao mnakaa kama mnaficha hii wakora. Mnapoona mtueleze, tunaelewana. Wacha kuweka mtu anakuja kusumbua community yetu hapa, eti wewe ukisema kwamba wakati anaiba utafaidika upate kitu kidogo. Hiyo kitu haitakusaidia.
And now, Kenya healthcare stakeholders have been urged to strengthen antimicrobial stewardship and promote the responsible use of antibiotics to curb the growing threat of antimicrobial resistance. The call comes as Gertrude's Children's Hospital becomes the first healthcare institution in the country to receive the Global Antimicrobial Stewardship accreditation from the British Society for Antimicrobial Stewardship, recognizing its commitment to the responsible use of antibiotics and other antimicrobial medicines. Gertrude's Children's Hospital Chief Executive Officer Dr. Robert Nyarango urged healthcare providers and members of the public to avoid misuse and overuse of antibiotics.
In the area of antibiotic use, which we think, which we know actually is a very big challenge globally, the challenge of antimicrobial resistance. So because we see most children in this country and because we have a voice to speak on behalf of children, so for us this is particularly important because the impact is not just for the current children we are seeing. The impact is multi-generational that will affect future generations.
Statistics have shown us that the impact of AMR is great, and we cannot continue to use them and misuse them at the risk of not having anything to use in the long run.
Now I take you to Samburu County, where hundreds of children from pastoralist communities in Samburu County now have access to early childhood development education following the establishment of the Nkalup Plan. The initiative is facilitating the construction of 1,000 churches in the county, which will be used as kindergartens on weekdays and worship centers on Sundays. Now, according to Nancy Njuguna, the manager of teachers hired under the Nkalup Plan, the initiative has created jobs for kindergarten tutors. Njuguna further said that more than 1,500 children have so far benefited from the initiative. And now to Tana River County, where Tana River County government has decried business where we have an Austrian-based tech startup is utilizing artificial intelligence to provide a smoother and more stable power supply as renewable energy quickly becomes the preferred power source for nations. Now, the company uses artificial intelligence agent to predict overloads and, of course, suggests the fastest way to restore balance. Here are the details of these and other stories making headlines across the borders.
As Europe increases its green energy capacity by installing wind turbines and solar panels, challenges have emerged due to the weather dependency of these sources. Even small fluctuations, a cloud blocking the sun, or a brief period of too little wind can destabilize power networks. However, these problems can be mitigated with intelligent management. Clemens Wozner, founder of the AI Inlight, uses artificial intelligence learning to stabilize power grids, and the system can react faster and evaluate more options than operators switching the grid manually. Meanwhile, the revitalization of the Tanzania-Zambia Railway has gained fresh momentum following the groundbreaking of a training center and an operations control center in Dar es Salaam. The new complex, which will house the two centers, will combine personnel training, dispatch and command, and logistical support under one roof. It will feature educational facilities, including classrooms for theoretical instructions and specialized practical training rooms, and 5 specialized dispatch workstations, as well as communications and comprehensive monitoring systems. Once operational, the center is expected to train large numbers of railway technical professionals for both Tanzania and Zambia and generate substantial employment opportunities. Finally, the former owner of British Steel has said it will pursue the British government for compensation after the loss-making firm was nationalized. The UK took control of the Scunthorpe Steel Works a year ago after China's Jingye Group said it planned to close the site because it was not financially viable and fully nationalized the plant on Thursday. Jingye said it will seek full compensation through legal means to the very end over the UK's move. A government spokesperson said the draft compensation regulations due to be released in the autumn will set out a compensation process which an independent assessor will determine what, if any, is payable. Jinge bought the Lincolnshire steel plant in 2020, but in March last year, the firm launched a consultation on its closure, saying the plant was losing £700,000 daily. Reporting for KBC, I'm Imelda Muga.
A new study has found pesticide residues in 78% of vegetable samples from markets in Kenya, with a third exceeding European Union maximum residue limits, raising concerns over food safety. Now, the study by the Kenya Organic Agriculture Network recommends that consumers reduce pesticide residues on vegetables by 70%, soaking in salty water, washing them under running water before cooking. The findings highlight the need for stronger food safety measures to protect consumers from potential health risk linked to pesticide exposure.
Food safety is a shared responsibility. It's not about the Ministry of Health. If anything, the Ministry of Health comes at the tail end. Within the Ministry of Agriculture, we have the PCPB, who handle issues about pesticides. Our borders are porous, so we'd still find these pesticides coming in. So what should happen? The Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Agriculture, PCPB, KBC, and everybody else, the extension workers, should be able to reach out, especially to the outlets where these products are.
Women and youth-owned businesses should strengthen their understanding of cross-border trade requirements and improve their competitiveness to fully benefit from opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Area. Now, State Department for Trade Secretary Michael Mandu says access to information, affordable financing and practical export skills are the key challenges faced by micro, small and medium enterprises keen on cross-border trade.
Kenya's trade with the SCFTA Africa as a whole is now 47%, which means out of everything that we export the rest of the world, 47% is going into Africa.
In terms of information, there's still a lot of information gaps with regards to appreciating what are the protocols that they need to use, what are the challenges that they are currently facing when they do it practically. And fortunately, since for us, being an implementing agency in government, we actually try to do this practically.
Make the knowledge simple. Make the knowledge, the tools for exporting, make them as simple as possible. Let the also customs also help these people to export as quickly as possible.
But it's a very practical training. We're not talking about theoretical constructs at all. This is, how do I get my goods from Nairobi across the border post to my buyer in Lagos, Nigeria, or to Accra in Ghana?
And now let's get sporty for a moment. Now, Meru County Governor Isaac Mutuma has urged young people to embrace sports as a tool for personal growth while steering clear of drug abuse, gender-based violence and teenage pregnancies. Now, speaking during the finals of the Meru Governor Isaac Mutuma Super Cup at Kinoru Stadium, Mutuma said the tournament was established to nurture talent while addressing social challenges affecting the youth. Former Manchester United midfielder Anderson Oliveira said Kenya has immense football talent capable of competing on the global stage if properly nurtured, urging young players to pursue the sport professionally. Now, former Harambee Stars captain Musa Otieno echoed the call, encouraging the youth to view sports as a career.
We have more than approximately 7,000 attendants, especially the young people. We are integrating and ensuring that we meet together as a county, as a community, to speak especially issues and discuss on issues that affect us as a community.
This is an opportunity for the young lads who have been given a free opportunity. There is an incentive, which I believe that for them to get good mentorship through that incentive which they're going to get, it means that in the next 2 years, that money needs to go to another level. They need to have a business because football is a short career.
I'm very happy to be here. It's amazing. People treated me very well. I'm very happy to see a lot of talent.
And now, Spain are the 2026 FIFA World Cup champions after beating a 10-man Argentina 1-0 in a thrilling match played in the United States. Now, following the win, Spain became the first nation ever to be men's and women's world champions at the same time.
World Cup, Porro looking to get through like he did against France. Didn't get his free kick there. Nico Gonzalez didn't get his control right for Argentina. Oh, here's Williams. And it's 3-on-3. Yamal is free at the back post. Nico Williams goes alone. And Martinez makes a save. And there's a crunching tackle. It's not a great one. It's another yellow. And it's a second yellow for Enzo Fernandez. Argentina reduced to 10. Marino and Rodri are in front of the Argentina wall. It's Yamal, and it's another save from Martinez. Pedri for Williams. It's a good-looking ball in, and again Spain come close. Marino off target. Zubimendi to Yamal. It's a deep cross. Williams back in. There's the chance, and there is the goal. Ferran Torres makes the breakthrough.
And our congratulations to Team Spain for their very much deserved win for beating Messi and his Argentina team 1-0. And my name is Giverson, Maina. That's where we end our lunchtime news for now. And I see you again tomorrow, same place, same time. Of course, our sign language interpreter has been Lucy Mora. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Marino and Rodri are in front of the Argentina wall. It's Yamal.